Hand saws and cutting tools are non-powered tools used to cut a wide range of materials. These typically include hacksaws, hand saws, utility knives, and tin snips, and are used where power is not required or where access may prevent the use of powered tools. As is the case with any bladed tool, there is a high chance of laceration injury if they're not handled and used safely. The injuries could range from a minor nick to a serious and life-threatening injury. Some of the safety implications include the use of direct body pressure on a blade, which can be dangerous if you slip or overexert. Cutting while using your other arm to support the material creates the risk of a laceration injury. The possibility of cutting into or through utility services. There is also the danger of cutting into asbestos-containing material. Due to these potential hazards, a thorough risk assessment of the environment and the task needs to take place before commencing work. This may include a site inspection, job safety analysis, JSA, or a Take 5 pre-start check. Any person using a tool must have been instructed by a competent person and deemed to be competent in accordance with the safe operating procedure prior to commencing the task. Although these tools may seem simple to use, there are valuable tips you can gain from someone with more experience. The selection of the saw and its blade needs to be matched to the material to be cut. You should not attempt to cut materials with the wrong type of saw or cutting tool. Inspect the body of the tool and the blade to ensure it is in good condition and free of defects. Ensure the blade is sharp and the locking mechanism is tightened prior to use. If there is any defect or damage to the tool or blade, it must be repaired, replaced, or disposed of. In any working environment, consideration of space needs to be made before work can commence to ensure you can perform the cutting safely. Rubbish, obstructions, and potentially flammable materials must be removed to minimize risk. While using any bladed tool, it is essential you wear cut-resistant gloves as protection from laceration injuries. Eye protection is also highly recommended due to the possibility of airborne debris. Under no circumstances should you be cutting into any material you suspect may contain asbestos. Seek advice from a competent person if you cannot confirm the makeup of the material. If in doubt, don't cut it. When cutting materials with most hand saws, you must securely restrain the material before commencing the cutting process. Hand saws are often used to cut timber and softer materials. Hacksaws are commonly used to cut plastic pipe and metal. Utility knives are used for cutting cardboard, some plastics, and stripping cables. They use razor-style blades and are extremely sharp, so never leave a blade exposed at any time. And tin snips are used for cutting thin sheet metal such as aluminium flashings and corrugated iron. Cut metal is extremely sharp, so exercise extreme caution. No matter what type of cutting tool you use, the safety and PPE requirements must be based on the type of the cutting tool. Wherever a cutting tool is being used, you should position your feet to provide balance and stability. Maintain a firm grip on the saw or knife and keep your hands away from the blade or near the piece you are cutting. Do not apply excessive force on the saw and use a smooth and steady pressure when cutting materials. Saws and bladed tools must be stored and transported safely to avoid contact with exposed blades, and replaced or repaired if damaged in any way. Hand saws and cutting tools are essential to many trades, but must not be taken for granted. Ensure you take the time to assess the risks, choosing the right cutting tool for the job, and use the correct PPE at all times.